I gotta ask you though about just as we're getting to wrap up. I mentioned Chad Zumock, and I have to admit I like the guy. I've always got along with him, so I'm not
What do
going
you
to
like
try.
about him?
I just feel like that. I've no reason to dislike him more than what I like about him. If that makes sense.
Okay, so you're neutral.
Yeah, but he's always been a jolly good egg to me and
He's
stuff
retweeted
like.
you, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but recently, I was his feud with WATP has just gone from like 1 to 10, like that, where it's actually like more of a personal thing than it is like roasting, like the way they would the fucking Stuttering John guy.
Yeah.
From you, but then also one of the things that was fascinated me was that during the lockdown, him and Kevin Brennan, it was just like right, episode 1, episode 2. Now we hear Chrissie, and it's like, what the fuck happened? Like they just decided to have a problem with you without ever actually explaining, even years later, why the
Wow.
problem started. So, from your perspective, like, and to be honest, I gotta admit, I find it hilarious from both sides because, like, Brennan just, oh Christ. But from your perspective, what the fuck went on there?
I don't really know. I think I'm an easy target because being a woman isn't being an easy target, easy to make fun of, I guess, like being kind of like one of the only women on Compound Media. Like Joanne Nosachinsky's on Compound, but she's not really outspoken like about beliefs or anything. She doesn't really like not putting herself on the line for any cause or anything. Um
I'd like to
so like
put her on my fucking
so I
line.
guess yeah, I
No.
guess that makes me a target. Like anyone who stands for something is putting themselves out there. Like I'm not performing. I put out there that I wasn't performing anywhere that required vaccines to get in. Like when De Blasio put down that mandate in New York City. Was it last? Not this past summer, but the summer before. So I guess that is like I don't know a cool thing to make fun of. I don't care whether people like it or not. Like I had to do it for me, and just to show people like there are people that are fighting against like this fucking vaccine cult. So I don't really know where the Chad thing started. I know that he popped up on my radar because he was making fun of Stacey Pressman on Twitter, and I kind of like came to her defense, like just on Twitter, being like, "Hey, she's not a bad chick. Like she's fine, whatever. She's a friend." And then he just became kind of fixated on me from that moment on, and then kind of obsessed about myself and also Frank, which I don't fully understand. And he started coming after me. He was making fun of me because I didn't have enough Twitter followers. Like he was making fun of my Twitter following, and then we discovered through Social Blade that he buys his followers, and then we post that to be like, okay, well at least mine are real, mine aren't purchased. And then Chad considered that to be doxing. Like I think he's confused about what doxing is. I think he thinks if you just mention public information that you're doxing him. It's like, no, anybody can go and look at your Social Blade. Anybody can like see your criminal record. Like this is all public and out there. So I don't know. People in glass houses shouldn't really throw stones, I guess. But I never understood the obsession. It's too bad because I feel like Chad has a knack for alienating and making enemies of people who could really help him and help his career and help every aspect of it. So it's just too bad. But the longer you do this, the more people like that kind of come into your life where you're like, oh wow, like we could have helped you, but like it's fine. Like, you learn like who you want to help, who doesn't appreciate help, who in fact wants to just be an enemy for no particular reason. And yeah, like he's doing him, whatever works for him, I guess. But the obsession has always been kind of strange. The stalking was kind of weird, and it just seems like a lot. So I don't know. Sometimes people get locked on for a particular reason. I don't. It's kind of a mystery to me, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing that was always weird to me is because when Kevin Brennan would talk shit, he would always do it sort of comedically. So I never thought that was. I always thought that was like a pro wrestling storyline. It was like, oh, I'll never work with Chrissie Mayr, not even on Sunday night at SummerSlam or whatever. But with Chad, it seemed like he was saying some pretty fucking personal shit. Like not that he
Mm-hmm.
insulted Frank's kid. He didn't actually insult the kid, but it's like, just don't talk about the kid. Like, just like,
Yeah, that's a really bad look. And also Frank, who's not even a public person, not a public. So it's a bad look to talk about him as well, but it's an even worse look to talk about someone's kid. I mean, that's like that's kind of that's a low person that's engaging in that and like not even being funny about it. Just, I don't know. It seems like he does so many podcasts dedicated to the two of us that sound like they should just be phone recordings that he keeps to himself, or phone calls that he's venting to a friend. Like why are you broadcasting this? Like, are your fans really enjoying these unfunny rants? Like, if they are, good luck to you, but if they're not, feel free to pivot to something that works.
Yeah, and it's like what you just said, which I'm now going to steal and spin off as my own point. It's that it really doesn't help to have feuds. Like it's, I think it's okay busting balls and talking shit, but to actually be in a feud where it could stop you from performing here or going on that show, like none of us are Eddie Murphy. I know you were going to say that I could be the next Eddie Murphy.
You could be white Eddie Murphy.
Stop it. Yeah.
Freddie Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Like, oh, instead of a banana going up the exhaust pipe, it's, anyway. But I think, honestly, by at least next March, because we've seen Chad and Kevin Brennan get back on track.
They have?
Yeah, they did that show a couple of weeks ago. We've seen Chad. I think he's back on good terms with Kumia, I think. But I think by early next year, we're going to get to see you and Chad, at least, maybe not having sex, but at least being able to joke on the air.
I don't know. I don't know if it's possible at this point for us to be on good terms. Like, even if he were to apologize, it's like, I would forgive him, but it's like, you don't forget. I would never work with him. I would never involve him with anything I ever do. Like, he really went out of his way to be an asshole, and in a way that wasn't funny. So I don't know if it's possible, but I just hope that he stops this behavior, for the future, for other people that might want to help him.
Yeah. But I think that he's going through a bit of a mental thing. Like, I mean, like the fact that he's okay with Kevin again, Big Dog Kev, shows you that he will get over stuff. Like, Kevin Brennan had footage of Chad playing with his dick right after his court case, and he played it up. Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No, I don't listen to their stuff.
Oh, well, after Chad's court case was live streamed or zoomed or whatever, somehow, and I don't specifically know how, somebody was able to get footage of it, and right after Chad's case or trial, whatever was over, he didn't turn the Zoom off, and he stood up and started playing with his dick.
Oh my God. That's actually funny.
Yeah, what's the ski mask probably has the footage. Like, it's fucking insane. But yeah, but the WATP thing, I think that's one that Chad's made a real error in feuding with, because Carl has gone from being, just some pedophilic rapist murderer in his basement. No offense, by the way, I don't mean any offense by that. But now he's actually become a real, what would you call it? Yeah, he's become like a real podcast player.
Okay. He does have a good following.
Yeah, and it's like, so he's now eclipsed a lot of comedians who've been on the game, in the game for, on the game means prostitution. But he's become bigger than a lot of comedians that are working. And I think that with Chad, getting into this personal feud with him is like, that's not going to help you at all in any way.
No, he makes a lot of bad career decisions and personal decisions. Yeah, it seems like he is going through something, because nobody of sound mind would make this many bad decisions over and over.
Yeah, and it's that whole thing where it's like, if you're having a bad day, that doesn't mean that it's somebody else's fault. Like, oh God, I woke up today and my dick smells like shit. That's that bitch Chrissie Mayr's podcast fault.
It must be me. Yeah, well, it's easier to blame other people when you don't want to take a hard look at yourself and, your work ethic, your patterns. It's so much easier to shit on other people.
Yes, but thankfully for me, I've never done a thing wrong in my life. Never will, and I get away with anything I want to. Just before we wrap up here, and you have a Mayor Christmas.
I have shirts that say that. Mayor
Oh, really?
Christmas. Yeah, they're in the drawer over there.
Well, then I'm going to
I should have wore that shirt to this fucking podcast. I'm sorry. I didn't think I had any Christmas shirts.
Why don't you take your shirt off now and go put one on?
Go put the shirt on. Really? You want me to?
No.
Okay.
But you can send me the photographs later. Oh, also forgot to thank you for sending me those nudes of Star Wars girl. You, Chrissy, are a good egg. But before
I have seen her kind of naked. We were sharing a room together in Orlando for one of the fan expos, and yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, she's had to unfollow her though because she keeps posting fucking spoilers and annoying bitch.
Oh.
But apart from that,